What's going on, guys? It's the Skylander dude, and when you think of the Skylanders franchise, you probably think of their wildly successful console games, but what's not often talked about is their failed mobile card game installment.
Introducing Skylanders Battlecast.
On May 24th, 2016, Skylanders Battlecast was released. Unlike Skylanders' regular yearly releases, this game would never come to consoles or utilize toys to life. Instead, this exclusively mobile installment was fueled with the power of cards to life. That's right, Activision decided to go all hands on deck in the trading card world and created a turn-based PvP game to coincide with it. Though Activision had incorporated trading cards with past Skylanders figures through Spyro's Adventure and Trap Team, these had no integration with the console games and were simply just a collectible. In Superchargers, however, the traditional trading cards were sort of combined with character stickers. These stickers were originally included with figures for the intent of filling out the collection poster that came with each starter pack, though in Superchargers, they now featured character stats right on the sheet. This would pave the way for a sneak peek into the Battlecast world. Upon the release of the game, each Supercharger starter pack would include an exclusive pack of 2 Skylanders Battlecast cards, those being character cards of the same Skylanders included in the standard starter pack, Spitfire and Stealth Elf. Though you wouldn't be able to use these cards till Battlecast release next year, a separate app launched in 2015 alongside Superchargers where you can test the augmented reality of these included cards. That was about it though. Besides a quick look at 4 additional cards, that's all this preview app had to offer. Those 4 other cards wouldn't actually be released until the official launch of Battlecast, where they'd be included randomly in packs like every other card. At the launch, there were 2 styles of card packages that were released, the booster packs and the battle packs. Booster packs would include 8 cards, while battle packs included 22. Although the 3 different art variations on the booster packs had no correlation as to what cards were inside, the 2 styles of battle packs actually included different contents. The battle pack that featured Smash Hit, Trigger Happy, and Hex was guaranteed to include those 3 character cards, while the pack that featured Stormblade, Spyro, and Snapshot guaranteed, you guessed it, those 3 character cards. In total, there were 24 different character cards to collect. There was 3 characters per each of the 8 core elements with varying rarities among the characters. Each card would have been a common, rare, epic, or ultimate rarity signified by the colored symbol at the bottom of each card. Besides the character cards, there were also spell cards, relic cards, and gear cards. Spell cards would be used to attack the enemy team, relic cards could add an effect on your whole team, and gear cards could boost stats or abilities. Furthermore, each of these cards could either be used exclusively on one Skylander, only for a certain element, or could be used by anyone. All of these specifications added up to a 270 card set, but that was just the standard cards. Additionally, each and every card had a silver and gold holofoil variant that were rarely included randomly in packs. Because there was no guarantee of a holographic card per pack, it made collecting both full holo sets a nightmare. The battle packs didn't just include cards though, as each also came with a collection poster for the 24 character cards, a deck box, and a trading shield. This trading shield was used to hide the magic of cards to life, so images of cards could be shared online without the fear of them being scanned and stolen for another player's collection. That hidden magic was held in the border of each card. Surrounding the edge of the Battlecast cards was a unique pattern of notches that upon being scanned in the app would recognize the card and add it to your in-game collection. Once a card was scanned, it couldn't be scanned again for someone else. Each pattern was unique to every individual card, so they couldn't be shared. You could, however, rescan a character card to see it come to life in augmented reality. Activision partnered with the AR content creation company Vuforia to help bring these scannable cards to the game. The process of adding cards in the game wasn't too tedious, as you could speed things up with the bulk import mode, though still somewhat time consuming. But you didn't need a solid physical collection to dive right into the game. You could earn cards for free from daily spins within the game or opt to purchase digital packs. Still, physical cards or in-app purchases were not required to play. You were even given a handful of free cards during the tutorial, so realistically, anyone could play. This beginning tutorial introduces the player to the story mode in the second dimension. Here, Chaos enlisted villains to capture each of the elemental realms. It's the player's task to defeat the villains within each world to free the realms. You're first taught the very basics of the game and how to utilize spell cards for attacks, power-ups, or regeneration. Crystals were the form of currency used to play all the cards, and you start with 1 crystal each game. At the end of each turn, you'll receive a crystal bonus that'll either increase your maximum amount of crystals by 1, 2, or none. Your crystals will also fully replenish at the end of each turn. You can play however many cards you can afford in a single turn. You can also attack with your leading Skylanders once per turn. The final action you can perform in one turn is switching your Skylander to the sideline. Weakened Skylanders will regenerate 10 health each turn when they're on the sideline. And that's the bare bones of the first tutorial. Once you've got those basics down, you can enter the advanced training to learn about gear cards, relic cards, and ranking. Unlike spell cards, gears will stick with your character for multiple turns. You can only have one gear equipped at a time, so while some gears can boost the Skylander stats, negative gears can replace it and deal damage. Relics, on the other hand, affect your whole team of 3 or the enemy field. Relics act as their own entity with a health bar, so an enemy team can't attack it directly. Finally, your character's rank can increase as you attack and play cards. A higher rank grants you with boosted stats and a specific character ability. Once you've advanced through this training, you can begin battling enemies of the elemental realms and make your way towards the final battle against Chaos. But hey, if the story mode isn't your thing, you can also battle against other players in PvP. You can battle your friends online or search for another active opponent. Unfortunately, as time went on, less and less people would utilize the random battle search, so you would have to add some players to your friends list to battle. But let me tell you, I had a great time battling other members of the community back in the day. Everyone in the space was active and playing Battlecast at the time, so I'm sure many other community members had a similar experience. During this peak, Battlecast felt like a super fun and fresh game that everyone enjoyed. So what went wrong? On June 30th, 2017, just over a year after its release, Activision announced that Battlecast would be shutting down entirely on September 1st of that year. Though fans were saddened by the news, it didn't seem to come as much as a surprise, as by this time the game wasn't nearly as relevant. Skylanders still had their yearly console installment Imaginators launch in late 2016, as well as the animated Netflix series Skylanders Academy, with the second season on the horizon. Needless to say, fans of the franchise were occupied, and Battlecast was seemingly left behind. During its final months, microtransactions were removed entirely, and all digital card packs were infinitely free to open. This gave fans the chance to finally complete their digital collection if they haven't done so yet, or if they even wanted to. Over Battlecast's lifespan, it received very few updates to add new content to the game. The only notable update was the addition of 6 new cards to be released via a General Mills promotion in cereal boxes in August of 2016. This introduced 2 brand new characters into the roster, Sonic Boom and Prism Break, as well as 2 variants of existing Battlecast Skylanders, High Noon Trigger Happy and Obsidian Hothead. The final 2 new cards were just spell cards that belonged to Sonic Boom and Prism Break. All the other cards released with the cereal packs were already available. With this addition, that brought the total count of different playable characters to 28. 28 out of the 300 plus that existed at the time. Skylanders always had a large roster of characters to choose from, so when Battlecast only brought 28 in, fans were disappointed. Other than that, practically no other updates brought fresh content to the game. It was previously discussed that other features such as a ranked competitive mode would be introduced in the future, but that was left as an unfulfilled promise. But I think the number one killer of this game was the marketing. If you weren't consistently in the Skylanders loop, you probably didn't even know Battlecast existed. Now sure, if you were a casual fan who still picked up the yearly installments as they came out, you might have looked up why you got a pack of Skylanders Battlecast cards in your Superchargers starter pack, but I bet most fans didn't even care. If you just bought Superchargers, you're not going to stop what you're doing to look up a card game, you're going to hop right back into the classic Toys to Life. So, okay, maybe Activision saw this coming and prepared some advertisements for when Battlecast actually launched in 2016. Or did they? Because I never recall seeing a Battlecast commercial, or any advertisements for that matter. For this video, I actually tried to find some commercials they ran on TV back in the day, and all I could find was an ad for their General Mills promotion. There was the announcement trailer for Battlecast, but as far as I could tell, it didn't seem to air as an advertisement. I guess they thought the game didn't need heavy advertising. Activision probably assumed the Skylanders name was enough to grab past, current, and new fans' interest. That clearly wasn't the case. Additionally, with such little marketing, it was hard to tell what audience they were targeting. Usually, the Skylanders console games were clearly marketed towards kids or early teens, but the Battlecast announcement trailer makes it seem like this was intended for an older audience. My theory is that Activision wanted to use Skylanders Battlecast to bridge the gap between older fans that grew out of the franchise and the current fan base. The Battlecast game itself wasn't crazy in depth or complicated, but it's definitely not something a kid could easily pick up and fully comprehend. The issue is, when you're not directly marketing this game to your target audience, it's not going to be seen as something different, just another Skylanders game. I guess they were hoping the Skylanders name would be enough to carry the success of Battlecast where they wanted it to go, but it just didn't reach them. While the game may have reached that younger audience, I don't think that demographic cared about collecting cards. If you give kids the choice between an action figure and a pack of cards, I'd bet they'd pick the figure. The true market this game hit was the die-hard fans. They were the ones excited to see these cards in the starter pack and would pick up the hype when the official announcement dropped the following year. Outside of those fans, nobody knew to give this game a proper shot. Now, does that make it a bad game? I don't think so. I thought the game itself was actually pretty fun. I played it pretty regularly when it came out, though my interest faded almost entirely once Imaginators released. The story mode was a good mix of fun and difficulty, and I would spend hours battling other members in the community. And though only a small portion of the game, the augmented reality features were super polished. This was still relatively early on in AR's life, but its integration was super neat. However, you didn't even need to play the game to enjoy Battlecast. The cards themselves had some of the best artwork the franchise has ever seen. All of the artists involved did an amazing job of creating these scenes while capturing the iconic look of our favorite characters. It was a shame to see this installment not get all the love it deserved. At the end of the day, Activision tried something new and it just simply didn't work out. Battlecast tried to pick up the success from Blizzard's Hearthstone, but failed. They missed their target audience, and the game didn't release at a great time within the franchise. I hope at the very least this video properly introduced or reminded you of the Battlecast world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Peace.